everyone, welcome to Briar Haus Writes. I'm Becky Parker. Welcome to 2026 video series. I wanted to show you our virtual background behind me. I'm going to scooch over so you can see the rest of it. This is a painting that was gifted to me by Mary Martinez. She is our administrator for our Briar Haus Writes Facebook group. Mary was also featured this past year in our Briar Haus Writes Conversation series as a writer of fan fiction. Mark Twain says, "In a good book room, you feel in some mysterious way that you are absorbing the wisdom contained in all the books through your skin, without even opening them." Lemony Snicket, horseradish, bitter truths you can't avoid, said, "A good library will never be too neat or too dusty, because someone will always be in it, taking books off the shelves and staying up late reading them." Walter Cronkite said, "Whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap to that of an ignorant nation." In our first video with Briar Haus Writes in 2024, we shared Summer Boyd's story and how she became librarian at East Hickman Library, which is located in Hickman County, Tennessee. We want to showcase libraries as much as we can in Briar Haus Writes. And if you recall, the last video was our showcase of Justin Ham, who is a school librarian in an elementary school in Missouri, and he's also the poet laureate for the state of Missouri. So we value libraries so much here because it's where most of us, want our books to be placed. It's the heartbeat of the community is a very good, thriving library. And today we want to have a conversation about Fairview Public Library, which is located in Williamson County, Tennessee. It's one of their branches. And this library came about through the effort in 1963. Two community activists of the Del Rio Home Demonstration Club, Miss Derry Carlisle and Miss Libby Fryer, they had the dream of having a local branch of the library in their Fairview community. So I'm going to introduce you to our new head librarian of that branch of the Fairview Public Library. So stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Briar Haus Writes. I'm Becky Parker, and today it is my honor to be able to speak with the librarian at Fairview Public Library in Fairview, Tennessee, and welcome her for the very first interview for 2026. Beth, welcome to our program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Beth, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Mississippi. Lived there pretty much most of my childhood, teenage years. I We have lived recently in Indiana, but we lived in Tennessee before that. So we've been a little bit all over the place.
Hi.
But I've worked in public libraries now for going on almost 20 years. I originally went to school to be a teacher. And then when I graduated from college, I started working full time in a public library in Oxford, Mississippi,
Mhm.
and was really just kind of biding my time until I could find a teaching job. And then I realized after about a year that I didn't want to be a teacher. And that I wanted to work in libraries. And there was just a really strong connection there. And so I went to school and got my master's in library and science, and graduated in 2010. And since then, I've worked for several library systems in Mississippi and Tennessee, in Indiana. I've been a children's librarian, a teen librarian, a manager. I've done a little bit of everything. And I've been here at Fairview Public Library now since June. We just moved back here from Indiana. And I love it here. I'm the branch manager here. We're a small library, but with big heart, we say. We are a great, really great, thriving community that loves the library, and I'm really happy to be here.
Well, and Fairview Public Library is very involved in the community. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So one of the things that we really have tried to do since I've been here, but we'll definitely do more of next year is more outreach into the community. Since I've been here, we have attended Nature Fest, which is at Bowie Nature Park here. It's a big festival in September, and it's a great chance for us really just to be visible to the community, talk to people, get people signed up for library cards, talk about our programming. We participated in the Christmas parade.
Mhm.
Just beginning of this year, we had a float for that. And again, it's just really just to put ourselves out there, and to remind people that we're here that maybe have forgotten about us. We really rely on word of mouth. And we have so many really dedicated patrons that come in here. And we're hoping that they tell their friends, their neighbors, their family. And we get people all the time who come in here to get library cards who either haven't had a library card in a long time or this is their first time. So we get really excited when we have those people come in.
Well, tell me, in today's digital world, why would we need a library card? Why is that
Oh my
important?
gosh, that's such a great question. So, I think so many people still have in their head that libraries are just a place to go get books. And we certainly are. We have thousands of books. Books for everybody, but we also have DVDs that you can rent. We have audiobooks. We have, you can look at magazines. So we have those things that you can actually tangibly take with you. But we also have spaces where you can come to study, to work, to meet if you need to. We offer, hundreds of programs a year for all ages that are free. And that's our biggest draw, is really just trying to get people to realize that we are much more than just a place to come get books. And now, speaking of the digital world, we have ebooks and e-audiobooks through Libby, through Hoopla, and that can save people so much money when you think about how much money you could spend on buying those things through Amazon or all these other vendors. So when people learn about that, they get really excited. I would say probably 50% of our collections are those digital books now. So that's really one way we've tried to modernize the library is kind of to meet people where they're at and see what their needs are.
And in regards to the population that you serve, like how do you encourage a diverse population of interest to engage with your library?
Sure. So like I said, we have collections for everyone. There is something in here in the library that everyone could enjoy. And that's one of our missions is really to have provide those materials for everybody. We provide programming for all ages. We of course have our cornerstones such as story time and toddler time. We have programming for teens and
Mhm.
tweens too. We actually just started a homeschool hangout group. So it's geared towards homeschool families where they can come and hang out, but do a little bit of learning, but also socialize and get to socialize with other homeschool families. So we try to really think about who is in our community, what the needs are, and what we can provide, the library itself can provide.
And during the summer, when a lot of kids are, have a lot of more free time, what do you do during the summer for families?
Sure. We have our summer reading program, which is always really like the highlight of our year. We have increased programming. We have a lot of bigger performers come in, like our magic show and the science guy and all those kinds of things, which can draw up to 100 people coming into those. Of course, kids can track how much they're reading, and get prizes along the way, and then get grand prizes at the end.
Mhm.
And so that's something that we do every summer. We try to do a kickoff party. We try to do something that kind of really gets the kids excited about it. And we always see repeat customers coming in to do that. And the kids know that the end of school means summer reading program at the library, and we want them to always kind of have that connection.
Well, I think that sounds really awesome. Tell me about like what are your favorite books that you like to read as a librarian?
Sure. So I read a little bit of everything, honestly. But my main thing is I love true crime. I actually host a true crime book club here at the library. So it's always been my favorite genre. Even as a kid, I loved to read anything mystery, thriller, crime related. So that's really kind of what I'm drawn to, but I love really any kind of nonfiction. And then I read a lot of just typical kind of mystery thriller type stuff like that. So yeah, I love to read. I'm always reading something like an actual physical book, and then I'm usually also listening. I my commute to and from work is pretty long, so I listen to audiobooks.
Mhm.
So that's a great way to kind of pass the time. And it's always great when people kind of discover audiobooks, especially people who travel a lot, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what was I doing before this?" You know. So yeah, audiobooks are really great too.
When you aren't busy listening to audiobooks and working at the library, what are your hobbies and interests? What do you like to do?
Sure. My husband and I, we've been married for, gosh, 18 years now. And we have two young kids, 11 and 7. So honestly, I am busy with them. We really enjoy cooking together. My husband's a wonderful cook. So we kind of get the kids involved in that kind of stuff. We enjoy spending time outdoors, hiking, taking walks, that kind of thing. We also have three cats who are just big babies. So the I'm just a cat lover, animal lover, that kind of thing. So yeah, we kind of, we're newly back to the Nashville area, so we're definitely spending our weekends kind of just exploring the area, getting to know the area again, and kind of seeing what's out there. We love to try new restaurants, that kind of thing. So yeah.
When you look at your library, and in terms of, you say that it's a small library, but it's part of the Williamson County library system. What do you see will be the future in maybe 50 years for the library?
I think, I think a lot of libraries right now, and this has been my experience in the different systems I worked at, in the last 5, 10 years, they've all really kind of undergone this shift of, okay, yes, we are a place, a repository for these materials, books, DVDs, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people see the library as really the hub kind of community center. So it is that place where I need to go study, I can go have a place to do that. If I need to meet with somebody, I have a place to do that. I think really thinking about when we renovate new buildings, how do we take that into consideration? Do we need more study rooms? Do we need more meeting rooms? And the answer pretty much is always yes. We need those things because that's what people are coming in to do. So many people work from home now too, and we have a lot of people who will come in and say, my internet's not working, or, my printers not working. I need to come do this thing. So we're kind of like that de facto second workplace for a lot of these people when something goes wrong. So I think to me, the future of the libraries is we will always be that place where people can come get materials. I don't see that going away. But I see, the library is really functioning more as that kind of second workplace, that second study place for people. And as we move and do renovations, how we can really and incorporate all those things into that.
Well, a lot of people think that books may move toward more e-books and different types of, like, maybe even holographic in the future. You never know with the way that we do with technology. But in terms of being at the library itself, like how do you disseminate your information to encourage people to come to the library? What is your way of staying in the forefront with that? Are you partnering with the local school system or different organizations? What does the library do?
Yeah, so we are trying to be more collaborative with the organizations in Fairview. We work pretty closely with Bowie Nature Park, with the rec center. Our friends of the library do a really good job of working with local communities. The Fairview Family and Community Education Group, we work with them as well. And yes, local schools, trying to get in there and make those connections with the librarians, with the teachers, so that they're aware of the things that are going on here and ways that we can help and collaborate with them. A big push too that we're doing is trying to be more visible on like social media. So trying to post more on Facebook and that kind of thing. And I think that has really helped kind of up some of our programming numbers and circulation, that kind of thing. So really just finding ways that we can be more visible in the community. And also, going to commission meetings, that kind of thing, and talking about what we're doing, so that the leaders of the community also know what we're doing, and we can kind of have that connection with them.
As a librarian, how would you encourage others who may be interested in going down your path?
Sure. Um, I think a lot of librarians stumble into librarianship. I don't, it's not necessarily a track that even I as a child or going into college, it was never on my radar. And a lot of people I've talked to, it's kind of the same thing. You kind of just stumble into this.
Mhm.
I think, the skills you really need to have to be a librarian is you need to have great customer service. That is really the cornerstone of what we do. Um, and not just only great customer service, but being able to listen to people, hear what they're saying, and discern what they're asking for. Because a lot of times they don't even know what they're asking for, and so you kind of have to figure that part out. And I think really just too, having patience, and being able to. People come in here a lot of times and they need real help with things, and sometimes it takes time to kind of figure out what they're needing, that kind of thing. Obviously having a love for books, and because people will come in and ask us, what do we like to read, what do you recommend, that kind of thing. But I think having just that cornerstone of customer service, that is like probably the biggest skill that I think is essential if you really want to be a good librarian.
Does the Williamson County Library System partner with other county library systems, or is Fairview, an entity on its own? And do you ever get together with them and have, like, any kind of meetings just to kind of build
Yes.
your skill set?
Sure. Yeah. So yes, we're part of Williamson County Public Library. We're one of 6 libraries in the system. And so, yeah, we all work together very closely as a system. We have a lot of system-wide type programs that we do and initiatives that we work on. And yeah, I mean, our director definitely works with other counties within the area that we're in, because we're really doing the same thing. We're trying to, and so how can we help each other? How can we collaborate? How can we learn from each other? That kind of thing.
If someone wanted to be able to find the Fairview Public Library, how would they do it? And do you have a website?
We do. So our website is wcpltn.org. That's for Williamson County Public Library. So you can find all of our information on there, information about all of our locations, our hours, our programs, our services, how to get a library card, that kind of thing. If you can also find Fairview Library, we're on Facebook. I post in there almost daily, sometimes information about our programs and services, that kind of thing. And if you're in Fairview, we're right in the main strip. We're right across from Dunkin' Donuts. That's what I tell everybody. So yeah, we're right there. We're right near Bowie Nature Park. So it's a great, if you want to come to Fairview and visit, come to the library, go to the nature park. It's a great little community and a great town.
Well, Beth, thank you so much for taking the time with us today at Briar House Writes. And I am so excited for what Fairview is going to do with your library. That's just awesome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.